Have you ever been playing a video game and realised, hey, I own that film camera? No? Well, tough. I can't enjoy anything in life without relating it to photography, especially film photography, so today I'm going to cover a few film cameras that appear in video games, starting off with Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is an amazingly cute indie game that I've been playing religiously since about 2018. Developed by Concerned Dave, it's an open-ended farming simulator that has so many built-in features and story narratives, and honestly is so well made and fun to play. One of the features is a romance option where you're allowed to pick one of the 12 people selected to romance and later go on to marry. This is where we're introduced to Haley, who may seem a bit standoffish and self-centered at first, but she loves taking photos with her camera. Also, spoilers ahead for Haley's romance scenes if you want to avoid that. Giving gifts to Haley that she likes will increase your hearts with her, which leads to some special cutscenes. Once you're at 8 hearts with her, you're granted access to a cutscene where you're with Haley at Marnie's ranch and you take photographs together. In the square format, which you know is the key to my heart. This is a super cute and cool cutscene together, and it's really sweet. Another cutscene with Haley is when you have 10 hearts, you enter her house and you see a weird red light glowing from her bedroom. Upon entering, we see Haley in a full darkroom setup with an enlarger, prints and trays for developing. The attention to detail was so nice to see, especially in a video game, and makes me think Concerned Dave might be a bit interested in photography himself. One attention to detail that I really adore in this scene is actually the sound. Instead of the cute, calm Stardew Valley music that you normally hear playing, all you hear is ventilation. Which, if you're used to being into a dark room, you will know that ventilation sound. This scene is really cute and you should definitely romance Haley if you ever played a game. I'm totally not biased, hashtag Haley supremacy. Another cool attention to detail in Haley's room itself is actually cameras sitting on the floor, which you know, very relatable. And there's also just more cute pictures hanging around her room that she's clearly taken herself. I give this a 9 out of 10 for film camera representation. The only thing I'd want more is to actually be able to take images yourself. Firewatch. I've never actually played Firewatch myself, but in a spur of boredom with my flatmate Zoe, we ended up watching Jacksepticeye's 3.5-hour playthrough of it, and I thought it was a pretty interesting game. Firewatch is an adventure walking simulator game where you explore a mystery set in the Wyoming wilderness. I sure hope I'm pronouncing Wyoming right. I know about 26% of my audience is from the United States. Please do not slate me in the comments. And also, while we're here, only like 10% of you guys are subscribed, so you should definitely do that or something. This game seems really cool in concept, exploring the role of a fire watcher, which is an incredibly isolating job and your only point of contact being a radio from the next fire tower over. I don't want to spoil too much of the game, but from what I remember the ending is a bit lackluster, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. During day 2 you're sent on a trail to explore the missing teenage girls when you stumble upon a backpack belonging to Brian Goodwin. Inside the bag you find a small disposable camera with 17 frames left, which you can use throughout the rest of the game. This is a really cute addition to the game and it's something the developers didn't have to do whatsoever because it has no major impact on the storyline. But once you finish the game and you're watching the credits, you're greeted to a showreel of all the images you took while playing the game, and the ones Brian Goodwin took on it before he went missing. This is such a cute feature to have in a random game like this, and it's just really nice to see. With the game being set in 1989, it's very reasonable and understandable why a hiker might have a disposable camera with them, so it fits into the story perfectly, and you also get to see the images you took in-game. Really cool addition to the game. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 on film camera representation. Life is Strange. Life is Strange is a video game I've always wanted to play but never got around to doing it, and after doing research for this video and with the announcement of another installment coming out called Double Exposure, I might have to give it a go. We follow Max, a college student studying photography who absolutely loves Polaroids, discovering she can rewind time. This game is an episodic story where your actions have consequences, and from what I've heard, it's a really emotionally riveting game. I haven't looked too much into the story because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but it seems Polaroids do seem to be a big part of the game. There's an optional photo gameplay element every episode which allows you to take up to 10 Polaroids each episode, which you know is really cool. Remember when Polaroids came with 10 photos in a pack, not 8? Each optional photo comes with its own achievement, which graphic relates to photography. Taking a self-portrait with flash rewards the red eye achievement, a reference to the red eye effect created by some flash photography. Taking a photo directly facing the sunset rewards a light leak achievement, which is a super cute film canister graphic. Honestly, just looking at all the symbols and different icons they have for everything really makes me want to play the game because it's so cute. I guarantee there's so many cool little details I'm missing as well by not actually playing the game, like the camera itself, the photography schoolroom. Episode 4 is literally called The Dark Room and episode 5 is called Polarized, which both sound so cool. The creators of the game clearly have paid so much attention to detail of the medium they're exploring in this game, and I think that's so nice to see. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 on my rating, but that is subject to change. If it's really good, it'll probably go higher, but if it's leaning a bit too much into the Tumblr 2016 Polaroid aesthetic, it's probably going to go down. Ending on a light-hearted note, Pokemon Snap, the Nintendo 64 version specifically, not the new Pokemon Snap that was released in 2021. This is a game where you pretty much are taking photographs of Pokemon and trying to achieve the best shot using different techniques and items. It's a very simple sounding game, but man do I love photography. A lot of modern Pokemon games do have inbuilt camera features, with the most recent game Scarlet and Violet having a selfie mode, so you can clearly see photography living through the whole Pokemon world. But having a whole game dedicated to it, called Pokemon Snap, that's so cool. The actual cartridge art of this game is so cool. We've got these poorly rendered 3D Pokemon models all bursting around a camera lens which says Nintendo 64 on. Also the film canister with the Pokeball logo on it and a negative strip being pulled out behind it. Even cooler than all of that though has to be the main box art. They cooked with these negatives. This looks so cool and of its time. Interestingly enough, the roller film has 64 exposures, which isn't exactly conventional. I'd argue that they're shooting half frame, but these look like full frame images. What's going on here, Pokemon? The opening cutscene of the game is absolutely adorable. It's this really blocky cutscene where the guy has his camera and it's so of his time and of his age. It looks so shit but so endearing at the same time. We see our main protagonist called Todd Snap, a very fitting name for a photographer, and his camera, which appears to be a rangefinder with where the eyepiece is positioned. Who knows it? Todd Snap could be using a Leica. The gameplay seems quite basic and fun at face value. You're being drove around with your camera where the focusing screen is a Pokeball. You also have your exposure count in the top corner with a roller film which is greeny red, which I think is an homage to Fujifilm. Obviously Nintendo and Pokemon being a Japanese game, Fujifilm being a Japanese company as well. I can see why there would be a crossover. At the end of each level you look at all the photos you took and pick the best ones to show to Professor Oak. And you know, it's a very basic game, photography and just taking pictures of Pokemon, but it's really cute. I'd give it a 4 out of 10 because it's not the most amazing piece of film camera representation, but it still is really cute. And that's it, 4 video games that include film cameras in them. If you've got any other suggestions of video games that include cameras, definitely leave them in the comments below because I'd love to make a part 2. And if you like this video, you should definitely check out my film cameras that appear in anime video, which will be linked in the description below. And also, this is the first video I'm filming since I hit 1,000 subscribers, so a big thank you for that. I'm planning on doing a Q&A, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment below, or at some point I'll have a poll on my Instagram, which you can follow in the link in the description. Thank you for watching as always, and Matt out.